Today on Network Africa, a blast right in the middle of the Somali capital leaves 3 people dead. An unexpected landslide claims the lives of 53 people in Rwanda. But it's not all bad news today. It's all fun all the way for children in Egypt to take part in a charity run. Hello everyone, I am Amarachi Ubani. Before we head into today's stories, let's take a look at stories that made headlines this weekend on the continent.
United Nations envoy Zainab Hawa Bangura has called for military personnel accused of sexual violence in South Sudan to be held accountable. She is expected to take part in the launch of the implementation plan of a communique outlining steps that would be taken to put an end to rape cases that she and the government signed in 2014.
For now, it is making sure that it stops. It doesn't happen. People are trained, that's why we're working with the military SPLA, to work with them to develop structure within the military, to hold themselves accountable, to be able to prosecute their own people, to be able to prevent it happening.
South Sudan's war began in December 2013, throwing the world's newest country into chaos, killing tens of thousands, displacing more than 2 million and plunging at least 40,000 into famine. Elsewhere, Kenya's authorities said the number of people killed when a multi-story residential building collapsed in the capital, Nairobi, more than a week ago had risen to 49 after 7 more bodies were retrieved at the collapsed building over the weekend. The 6-story building in Huruma, a poor neighborhood in the city, was constructed near a river and had been condemned by the authorities, but it is unclear why it remained occupied. The disaster was the latest of its kind in a rapidly expanding city where enforcement of construction codes is lax and violations are rarely punished. Finally, Zimbabwe is putting its wild animals up for sale to save the beast from a devastating drought. There were no details on the animals on offer or their cost, but the southern African country's 10 national parks are famed for their huge populations of elephants, lions, rhinos, leopards and buffaloes. Emmanuel Fundura is a tour operator. He says something needs to be done to save the animals from the drought.
Parks are seized with a huge problem in terms of maintaining our wildlife, a stock which is under threat from different fronts. Our wildlife threat, especially this year where we had a severe drought. We don't have sufficient water in terms of looking after the wildlife. We also don't have sufficient grazing for the wildlife. So naturally, we are overstocked in certain areas to a point where we know for a fact that would end up losing those animals.
The drought is expected to worsen in an already critical water shortage in Wange, which has no rivers and relies on donors to buy fuel to pump out underground wells.
Back to the present, this happened earlier today, a suicide bomb blast right in the middle of the Somali capital, Mogadishu. 3 people were killed in the attack, 3 other policemen wounded. However, police managed to kill one of the attackers who had stormed into the traffic police headquarters and opened fire. All fingers are pointed to the Al-Shabaab Islamist group, which lost 2 attackers in the incident, but claimed the death toll on the part of the security forces was much higher than is being reported. It's been quite difficult for those on the ground to verify the death toll, but Al-Shabaab has been known to have carried out such deadly attacks in the past and has been targeting mainly civilians. 53 people are said to have died following a massive landslide in Rwanda. The landslide was caused by days of heavy rainfall, which have reportedly damaged at least 500 homes. There have been a number of deadly mudslides this year in Rwanda, and up to 70 people have been killed, including in the capital, Kigali. The densely populated country is made up of hills and valleys, and erosion is a main problem. Well, the Executive Secretary of Rwanda Journalists Association, Gonza Muganwa, joins me now with more on the landslide. Mr. Muganwa, thank you for joining us on the program. Now, this is a really rare incident in Rwanda. Do tell us what the mood is like in the country today.
Yes, I was saying that the incident is not rare. What is rare is the scare, the fact that so many people lost their lives, and it affected the lives affected big parts of the country. But the landslides are common because of the geography. The country is very hilly, and many people live on steep hills because it's a very densely populated country. But over the years, the government has been trying to relocate people from dangerous zones. The mood, of course, is somber, particularly in the northern province where most of the victims are, where it was affected heavily. Of course, it has also affected a lot of businesses because two of the main roads entering the capital Kigali are closed at the moment because of flooding and the landslides which have poured a lot of mud. On the main roads linking in Kigali to the neighboring countries, to Congo and the Burundi, and it has affected a lot of businesses.
And the landslides were caused by heavy downpour, we understand. Have the rains always been like this in Rwanda?
During this season of the year, yes, it rained heavily, but not this level. I think it has to do with the El Nino phenomenon, which has increased the volumes of rains, which are very sudden. But during April and May, usually the rains are heavy in many parts of the country. But the flooding is beyond what has been taking place, especially on the river Nairobi, which flows in the outskirts of Kigali.
Mr. Muganwa, are there plans to evacuate people from the area, or is there some sort of reconstruction in the works of some sort?
Yes, the government has actually had plans over several years to evacuate people from those dangerous areas, dangerous zones, and many have been moved, especially around Kigali and parts of the affected areas in the north and west of the country. At the moment, after the Saturday, Sunday morning night, the government is stopping people who are living on dangerous zones from going back to their homes, and the relocation has been taking place to more safer areas, so to avoid a similar occurrence, because it is predicted that there will be further rain in the coming days in many parts of the country.
Mr. Gonza Muganwa, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa. I'll be speaking with the Executive Secretary of the Rwanda Journalists Association in Kigali. Now, one of South Africa's public prosecutors, Thuli Madonsela, says she's afraid her life could be in danger, having received information someone has been paid to kill her. Madonsela is a leading public figure who scored a major victory when South Africa's top court ruled on March 31st that President Jacob Zuma had violated the constitution by ignoring her instructions to pay back some of the $16 million of state money spent in upgrading his private residence. Her spokesperson says she received a text message from an informant in April warning her to be careful. And that person said a top gangster in the West Cape was paid to get a hitman to kill her. Western Cape Province has a reputation for gangsterism and organized crime, but Masibi said Madonsela did not know who wanted to kill her. Her office, which has a constitutional mandate, probes misconduct and abuse in state affairs and can have several investigations on the go at any time. Masibi, who's Madonsela spokesperson, said that Madonsela immediately alerted South Africa's VIP protection service to the threat and that her security had initially been beefed up but had since been scaled down. Now, when we come back after the break on Network Africa, That race row in South Africa coming up again. This time, a white judge involved. People are outraged by what she said on social media. Do join us again.